Sometimes a very small change makes a huge difference. Today, we're going to talk about one of those small changes that's going to make an enormous difference in your entire life. Shalom Aleichem, I can't wait to tell you what I'm about to tell you today. This week's Parashat Vayigash, and by the way, it applies all year long, so if you're listening when it's not Vayigash, don't worry about it, it's for you. There's an amazing yesod when it comes to learning and gathering information, when it comes to teaching and influencing somebody. When you want to teach somebody, it's important to open up their minds to the idea that you're about to tell them. Otherwise, even if it's perfect for them, they won't hear what you have to say. How many times do we know situations where you have the perfect piece of advice to give somebody, and you know it's going to help them, and if they listen to you, it really would help them. The problem is they're not open to what you have to say. So you have to do something called preframing. What preframing is that you're guiding someone's mind to be open to the information that they're about to hear. So for example, if you're a student in college, or if you're a student in yeshiva, and you want to learn something, I tell you, listen, if you listen to this one idea, it's going to help you learn. You'll be able to retain what you learn better. You'll be able to understand what you learn better. Once I say that to a person, he's going to say, wow, that's for me, I want to learn that. And his mind is going to be open. He's going to be able to receive what's there. If you're really thirsty and you have a busload of thirsty people behind you and you're standing at Niagara Falls and you want to get some water, you can only receive as much water as the size of your kli, as the cup that you have. If you have a gallon jug, a gallon. A 10-gallon jug, 10 gallons. But if you have a little cup this big, there's only so much you can receive. Your mind is the exact same way. If you want to receive something, you have to be able to have not just a kli, but the kli has to be open. If the kli is closed, the bottle is closed, and I put it under Niagara Falls, I can stand on my head, I'll get no water in there. That's the same thing over here. When you want to tell someone something, want to teach them an idea, you have to pre-frame them. You have to put them in the right frame of mind so they're ready to hear what you have to say. If you don't do that, then it doesn't matter how beautiful it is what you have to say. It doesn't matter how well you say it, they're just not going to hear what you have to say. You with me? Now, how does it come out of this week's Parsha? When Yehuda approaches Yosef to say, please let Binyamin go, he says the following words. Listen to these words. Yidaber na avdecha davar bi'aznei Adoni. Please let me speak into your ears. Everybody knows that when you speak to somebody else, you don't speak into their elbows, you don't speak into their nose, you speak into their ears, obviously. So what's the need to say such a thing? So here's the idea. This is an amazing idea. Yehuda was saying to Yosef, listen, I have something to tell you that's super important. I know you're the leader. I know you're running the show here, and you don't need me, in my opinion, but maybe it's possible that I might have something to say that's actually going to be of interest to you. That's called the preframe. I want to speak into your ears, which means get your ears ready for what I have to say to you. Because something big is coming now. I want to tell you something amazing, but if your mind's not open to it, you won't hear it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the following. As a speaker, as a teacher, as a father, as a mother, as an influencer, you yourself want to realize, I want my message to reach their ears. It's not enough that I should just say my Torah, say my idea, and hopefully they'll pick it up. Oh no, I have to orient the person themselves. I have to want to reach them so that the message is going into their ears. That's a very important idea. Now, if you want to learn something, it's the same thing with you. You don't have to wait for someone else to pre-frame you. You can pre-frame yourself. You have to connect to your why. Why is it that I need to know this information? Is it for my job? Is it for learning? Is it for Olam Haba? Is it for marriage? Is it for emotional health? Is it for halacha? What's the idea? Why do I need to learn it? If you sit down and you spend a minute just thinking, even 30 seconds, just thinking, why do I need to know this information? You're pre-framing. You're priming the pump. You're getting yourself ready for the idea. When you talk to one of your kids, it's the same exact idea. Your kid has to study for a test, and she's having a hard time, and you want to help her, but she's like, oh, I can't do it. I don't know what I'm doing. You say to her, listen, you know, mommy or Abba, we've spent a lot of time studying in the past, and I can help you. I can tell you something that's going to make it easier so that in a short amount of time, you'll be finished studying, you'll come into school tomorrow morning, and you'll be all ready, and you'll feel good. That's a pre-frame. I'll tell you an amazing idea how far this goes. They once did a study where they asked random people, we'll give you $10, please read this short story and tell us what you think about the main character. Is the character warm? Is he kind? Is he giving? Or is he cold and cruel and mean? What did they do beforehand? They followed people around. 15 minutes beforehand, they had a person come up to them and say, can you please hold my drink? If the drink they held was warm, then when they read the story 15 minutes later, they said that the person in the story was warm. If the drink they held was cold, they said the person in the story was cold and cruel and in his own world. That's an amazing idea. What that means is even external events somehow pre-frame us, put us in a certain direction. So if you want to be successful, you have to pay attention. What is your your mindset right now? If your mindset's a great mindset, then you'll be open to something that's fantastic because you need to know, you want to learn. If your mindset's closed, you feel mitzumtzam, you feel tight, then you won't be able to be open to the idea. Now, the practical side of this is the following. You ever have a situation when you have to daven Shacharis and you just don't feel like it? Or you have to make Shabbos and you don't feel like it? Or you have to study for a test, lahavdil, and you don't feel like it at all? So pre-framing is your key. All you have to do is stop for a minute and think to yourself, why is it that I need to know this? Why do I need to do this? Why is it so important? If you take a minute to do that, what's going to happen is you're going to connect to your why and you're going to be open to the idea. You're going to be open to the action. You yourself are going to want to do it. You don't have to stop and think, oh, why should I do this? You don't have to force yourself. You're going to feel pulled because you pre-framed yourself. Not only is this an important skill for ourselves, but it's an important skill for everyone around us. If we could pre-frame people about pre-framing, then they'll be open to the idea. It's my tefillah and my most sincere hope that you don't just learn these ideas, but you take them into your heart and you use them every day. Remember, I want to pre-frame. I want to pre-frame. I want to pre-frame other people, and I want to pre-frame myself. Thank you so much for listening. It's my sincerest prayer that this little change is going to make a massive difference in your life.